We're turning two boring chords into some crazy dark R&B, but this one's a little different.
What's good, guys? So we're gonna make some dark R&B, very much like Coop the Truth, Nami, textured samples, loads of goodness, loads of sauce gonna be spilled. So you wanna stay to the very end because I'm showing you some different techniques and we're gonna start it from scratch. We're just gonna take these two chords, very simple, you can follow along. And I guarantee by the end of this video, you will have learned something new to use in your own sample making.
Nothing here in the session apart from one instance of pigments with some multi-keys going on, and I've just loaded 4 samples into the sampler here, put it onto round robin. Every time I play a different key, a different sound is going to play. When you use multi-keys, make sure that all your sounds are on the same note, or else when you play a chord it's going to completely jumble all the notes together and sound like trash. Go with an E minor, I think, today. Just going to try and keep it to 2 chords. We're going to go with like a 2-3 progression, I think I'm feeling today. So we start with an A minor, and maybe we'll go to like a B minor. Really simple, but we can do a lot with that. We'll start at like 128 BPM, but the BPM may change. So let's look at what we've got here. It's slightly off the grid. I might not want this all on the grid because it gives more of a natural feel. And also I think the way that multi-keys goes, the more that you strum the chords out when you're playing them, the better the result is, because you're going to really hear the change of textures and samples as the sample goes across. So do a little bit of correction here, pull in a couple of these here and just take a few of these little notes, and I do this just kind of manually correct. I'm gonna move some of these about. Just usually like divisions of 4 sound good, otherwise the bounce will be slightly off. I'm just listening here to really see like if I'm getting the desired texture that I want, and I'm just gonna mess about maybe with a couple of velocities. The reason I didn't like this was the velocity was too low. So now essentially I'm still playing here just a minor to a B minor, but I'm just adding a couple of notes to each chord that are all extensions to kind of create a little bit of variation. Leave that as a starting point, and let's maybe add some percussion in, add a bass line in after that. Just try and get a little bounce going, but going to add these little kind of clap snaps in, again from Monty Booker's kit. I love these sounds, they're just really textural. Let's add this rev spring. Let's just check the EQ on here.
So guys, if you're getting something out of this today, please go follow me on Instagram. My handle's right here. Download my free mini kit. The link is down in the description as well. Without further ado, let's get back to Logic.
A little bit of low end we can take it. Gonna bring the volume down on this a little bit here. Percussion here is just kind of keep things moving along and add some more texture in, rather than like being kind of hard drums or anything. We could maybe go with a bass just to tie everything together. And what I like to do to save time is I just have these channel strips ready to go in Logic. I use like this bass all the time. And bass wise, I'm gonna start with some root notes. I'm gonna add in a few like pentatonic notes. So you have mistakes coming in there, and that's totally normal. Like I've got a working kind of framework to work with there. Bee ba ba boom, I'm hearing that. That was what I had in my head. I didn't execute it perfectly, but again, look, MIDI, you can correct anything that is slightly wrong here. That's really cool for a first 8 bars. I really like that vibe. There's something going on here with the multi-keys that I'm not quite feeling. It's a bit of a mistake. We can fix it. Let's pull some of these in and out, in and around. And whenever I get 2 or 3 notes playing at the same time, I like to strum them out a bit, because again, that gives you that different textures coming in from those notes. I normally start with an 8 bars that gives me a good feeling, and make sure you always save your project. So the bass is just that Scarby Rickenbacker bass. There's no mastering channel on right now, but I'm going to shove that on maybe when I put in 1 or 2 more sounds. Got an idea. Let's double this multi-keys channel, and I'm just going to pedal on 1 note. I like... If I just play that A note, which can be shared across both the chords as a different chord tone, I'm going to stretch it, I'm going to put some reverb and make it into a soundscape bedded texture. That's all I need. I'm going to bounce this in place. I'm not even going to quantize it. I'm going to trust that the bounce is nice on it. I'm going to add like a portal. Let's add actually a free plugin. Let's go for delay. This one here. Let's add like maybe phaser on it. Let's EQ that right down. Let's now add maybe a Valhalla like reverb on there. That's some kind of shimmer reverb or supermassive maybe. Let's bounce it again in place. Now the fun stuff's going to happen. We've got this kind of interesting bed here, and let's stretch it right across. Sounds like a really interesting textual bed now. But we can even go a little further. Let's do some shaper bots. And this is all about trial and error. I don't really know what's going to come out at the end. But let's put some side chaining on this here. Let's blend it in with the pigment. Getting something now that's just really, really interesting. Gonna go with the Sky keys here. Just leave those same plugins on. Just gonna like experiment with different voicings of those chords and see if we can come up with like something nice that could sit in the background. Turn the volume down, but let's have a maybe. Honestly, I don't think we need much more now. Now, I know I've doubled up on some notes here, probably played it twice, but not really too fast. It sounds good. And as you can see, this was just the first preset. I'm going to pan that one to the right a little bit, pan the multi-keys a little bit to the left. So. And what I'm going to do is one more thing. I'm going to record into my phone some terrible singing, and I'm going to pop that into the mix, and then we're going to have a nice little kind of 8-bar loop to start with. We can try changing the sounds up on different chords. We can throw the voicings around a little bit. Like, we've got some really good information there to make a really cool textural sample. Even chop some of these little pigment parts out here, these multi-keys parts, and make ear candies out of them with some other plugins I've shown you before in my tutorials. Let's record a little vocal, throw it in, treat that, and then job done. let's just airdrop that to the computer. And I just like leaving in noise. I'm not really too fussed about it. We're going to just drop maybe a sound of the forest in here as well. So let's put that in, drop that in. Some auto tune. I know that I'm in E minor. One of those was terrible. Let's drop it out. Because I've done this for so long, it just like I can hear the ones that I think are rubbish and the ones that could work. I think it's a vibe. You're going to hear this transform in a second. Once I change the pitch, it's bringing a little forest atmosphere. So again, I'm just going to go to like my Apple loops and just look for forest. Drag that in. Not really think about it too much. Pull the volume down, right down. Put my mastering chain on now. Now I know that my levels are all pretty good. And if you want to learn some more theory and some other fire samples, check the video in the top corner right now.